There's no judgment, only grace. Every scar has a sacred place. In the truth, we're not alone. Every story finds a home. Come as you are, don't be afraid. You belong here anyway. We rise in love, we heal in trust. This is where real begins. No judgment.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Thank you for joining me. This is No Judgement Here, the podcast. I'm Tish Ross. I am your host, and I'm going to bring Austin in. He's an amazing fellow, so I'm going to bring him in so that you guys can meet him as well. All right, here we go. Thanks for being here. There's Austin. Austin,
Hi.
welcome in. Thank you for being here.
Not a problem.
So, Austin, I'm going to let you take it away. You shared with me that this was a 14-year journey.
Yep.
And it sounds like something similar to mine and my husband's son. How this whole thing got started was in 2010 through a medical issue that you had. And some pain or a prescription that the doctor prescribed you. So I'll let you go ahead and start there. Take it away.
All right. Well, I had an issue that was very painful, and I would hit my knees. It was so painful, and basically, I needed to go see a urologist. And in order to see the urologist, I have to get a referral from the family doctor and all that type of stuff. So when I went in there and saw him, I told him about everything, and I told him, or he told me that he would give me some pain medication just to get me through till I saw the specialist, you know. So he, in his ultimate wisdom, prescribed me and this is, you know, the 2010 is before they rescheduled everything and everything. He gave me 90 10 milligram hydrocodones with 3 refills. And so I took my medicine like the doctor told me, you know. That's pill every 4 to 6 hours. That's 4 to 6 pills a day. And after, you know, 270 of them or whatever, or I can't do math right now, but it's a lot. And I was hopelessly addicted by the end of it. And it's, it just spiraled out of control. It seems like so fast, but it was so long. So once, I mean, and also too, like, I mean, I like to get high. Like, I'm a drug addict. I like that feeling, you know. I've never been comfortable in my own skin until like now, but my whole life I just didn't want to be I guess normal.
Well, okay, so I'm going to stop you there. So there's a lot of people, including myself. So like I was the oddball out in school. I never wanted to fit in because I didn't want to fit in a box. So because I didn't want to fit in a box or follow the crowd, I was either considered a shy, quiet girl or a weirdo, or I never wanted to be popular, but I was definitely not popular. And so I just was created that way. I just did not want to fit in. I didn't want to do what everybody was doing. So explain a little bit about that, where you say that you were not comfortable in your own skin. Why is that? Or why do you think that is?
I have, I think it has a lot to do with my mental health diagnosis that I didn't get until, what was it, 2020, 2021? I have bipolar disorder, clinical depression, all that type of stuff. And I didn't know that about myself for the longest time. I didn't know why I walked around and I was angry all the time for no reason. I would just be mad.
Yeah.
So when I, you know, under the influence of anything, I just wanted to be not sober from the time I woke up till the time I went to sleep. It really didn't matter too much. I just didn't want to just didn't want to be normal. Like you said, I've never fit in all the way anywhere. I in school, you know, friend groups and stuff, I'd fit in with a couple people, but not the whole group. And it just always kind of felt I don't know, outcasted, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I found a friend in drugs. So, and I mean, when I got this prescribed this stuff in 2010, I had been experimenting with like hard drugs since 18. And it's so funny because I was so anti-drug as a teenager. And then just as soon as I got out of high school, it was cocaine and everything, just anything and everything you could think of. If somebody had it, I would do it, you know? So, but once the opiates are evil. I mean, that sickness, that feeling that you get when you're sick off of opiates, you will do anything to not feel that way. I mean, I literally like screwed off everything I ever had owned, worked for, acquired. Like it's all gone. It's all gone, and just to get high. So that happened in 2010, and I liked it. And at the time, the pain pills was like the thing. Like everybody was doing it. It was like a fad, kind of. Everybody was doing it, and so I was able to hide it. I was still going to work. At the time, the girl I was with, I mean, we ended up being together for 15 years, and 7 or 8 of those years, I completely hid the fact that I was addicted to drugs. So it wasn't a problem until I think it was like 2013, 2014 when they rescheduled pain medication, and you couldn't just get refills anymore. You couldn't get these large scripts. You had to go to a doctor every time you needed another script. And they all they did was make the price of the pills on the street double. So I went from, being able to kind of maintain, even though I was spending a lot of money on these pills, they got up to where one pill was $10. And at a certain point in my addiction, I was taking 15 to 20 of them a day.
Wow.
Just to not get sick, just so I would not get sick. And so slowly over time, you, when all the legal routes run out, you turn to crime. And I started stealing, and it got really bad. I mean, I stole from my family. I still have a lot of guilt. And even though I have talked with family members and stuff that I have stolen from, and they tell me it's okay, it still doesn't feel okay. Like I still have a lot of that on my shoulders that I carry around, and it does affect my self-esteem sometimes, but I'm okay today, but it's still, I just don't feel good about it. But so anyway.
So you said at one point when we were chatting, I know that you said in around 2012-ish that you were off probation for about 5 years, and that, yes, like you said, you were hiding your addiction. You hid it for about 4 to 5 years. And then in 2021, you started buying fentanyl. You even shared that you fell asleep standing up. Unknowingly. Okay, share that.
Okay, because so in an effort to get more bang for my buck, I graduated from hydrocodones to oxycodones, and I was buying their little blue, they say Percocet on them, little blue 30s. And when fentanyl hit the street, those pills are made to mimic like what oxy looks like. So I was buying these pills, and my dealer got some that were different, a little different. They looked a little different, but man, were they strong, And yeah, I mean, my sister's wedding, I was in my sister's wedding, and I don't remember it. I was standing up, just completely zombified, like just to an embarrassing degree. I mean, literally just, everybody's seen the videos of the people all slumped over, half standing up in the gas station. Like I was that, I was there. And these pills at the time, they were $15 a piece, $15 to $20 a piece. And for the oxys, well, the fentanyl pills got switched on me unknowingly. I didn't know. And this is right about the time you're starting to hear about it on the news. People are starting to notice, like, hey, El Chapo's already threatened to release the Blue Demon and all this type of stuff. It's right about that time. And by the time I realized, because I almost died, I was blacking out. And at the time, I had my apprentice electrician license, and I was doing my electrician thing, and I kept just like I'd take one of these pills, and I'd end up just puking everywhere and blacking out. And for some reason, I kept taking them. Like, how insane is that? And I ended up coming home, and it's July, and I turn the truck off, and I roll the windows up, and I'm about to get out of the truck, and I black out and pass out. I wake up being like thrown in a cold shower because I basically was dying in the 104-degree heat with the windows up in the truck. My girlfriend at the time yanked me out of the truck. I was in a position where I couldn't tell anybody. I mean, for 8 years at least, I suffered in silence. I didn't. She wasn't somebody that I could tell. I couldn't be vulnerable with her. I wasn't allowed to be vulnerable. I tried to tell her I was depressed one time, and she looked me right in my eyes and said, "You're not depressed. You just need to get a fucking job." So I just couldn't tell anybody, and because of my felony probation, and at the beginning of that, I kept failing UAs for cocaine and other things because I'm just an idiot. So I'd been through 12-step programs and counseling and stuff. And so they knew, my family knew that I had a tendency towards, substances. They didn't know how bad it was.
Gotcha.
So where it all just hit the fan. And this is, I feel so bad for this still. So my ex at the time, we were together 15 years. And, these pills were these $15 pills, I was having to take 5 or 6 of these, and these things were potent. I was having to take 5 or 6 a day to not get sick. That's how high my tolerance got. And once I realized it was fentanyl, I tried to go back to the hydrocodones and everything. And I could eat 10 hydrocodones at once and not even feel it. Like, that's how strong fentanyl is. I mean, it's almost unfathomable how potent this stuff is, So, she had a really good job, working at the hospital, and in my infinite wisdom, I decided to start stealing her checks and writing them out to myself and cashing them at the gas station. And I ended up stealing like almost $5,000 from her in like 3 months just for drugs. I just remember the day it happened. I was standing in the driveway and talking on the phone, and she was kind of a homebody. She didn't spend a lot of money. She didn't really do anything. So she never really checked her bank account until she did. And I'm on the phone, and I just remember her coming outside and just beating the crap out of me. She's just punching me as hard and as fast as she can, calling me all kinds of names. And I just curl up in a ball because I know who I am and what I did, and so she throws me out. Like, she's done. She kicks me out. I think 3 days later, I never saw her again. She changed her number, moved, disappeared. After 15 years, just poof, gone.
Wow.
Yeah. And so and then she called everybody. She called my grandmother. She called my mom. She told everybody what was going on. So a week after that, I put myself into treatment the first time. A friend of mine that was going through the same thing, started to turn himself around, and he told me what to do, and I ended up going through Tarrant County's HMA or MHMR, just like Pine Street down on Lancaster. I ended up going there the first time to detox, and by this time this is full blown COVID. Zoom calls, the little ropes outside of Walmart, just full blown COVID times. I was doing the outpatient stuff. So I went to detox, and they put me on Suboxone, which is, like methadone or anything else, just a maintenance thing. And I'm doing these little Zoom counseling meetings, basically, in a group. So there was a girl that I met while in detox. We were in detox together, and then ended up being in our outpatient groups together. And we could talk to each other behind the scenes in the little app that we use for groups and stuff. And long story short, like I ended up with Kelly. Like, Man, Kelly was the love of my life. Like I worshiped the ground that she walked on. Like I don't know why I love that girl so much, but Kelly was in there for the same thing as me. She had an opiate addiction and everything, but she didn't tell me at the time about her problems with meth. And so ultimately, Kelly introduces me to meth,
Hmm.
and so I'm not using fentanyl anymore. I'm on my little Suboxone program, but now I'm on a whole nother ride. There's a point like I got down to like I'm almost 200 pounds right now. I weighed like 150 pounds. I look like I live behind a dumpster. Like when
Wow.
I do drugs, I do drugs. I
Mm.
don't. There's no off switch. There's no like I just run and gun. So over this time, from the time of when I went into detox and met Kelly for about a year and a half, I'm able to stay away from the fentanyl completely. That being around the meth, it just took me. I did things I said I'd never do. Um, I experimented with needles and all this other just horrible stuff. I told myself I would never do this stuff, and I did it. Just that even though I wasn't doing I just replaced that addiction, just replaced itself with something else,
Right.
and I still had like a character issue. My insides were still bound up, I guess you could say. I'm a convicted felon. I ended up getting caught with a large quantity of meth in Bedford, and me and Kelly both got arrested that day, and which created a slew of issues. So, but I bring up Kelly because in 2023, Kelly went to jail, and I was dealing with a guy I bought my other substances from, and one day he just has some little blue pills,
Hmm.
and he gives me some of them because I was complaining about my back hurting. And so we start this all over again. The next thing I know, I was in a restaurant one time sitting in a chair, and my butt's in the chair, but my top of my body is horizontal, and I'm asleep this far off the ground, like in a restaurant, like in public, just completely zonked. Um, and with the fentanyl, like the pain pills, the hydrocodones, it'd probably take you about, I'd say, like 6 to 10 days to like really develop a physical addiction to it. Fentanyl, you use it 3 days in a row, you're done. You're addicted. And so I remember I just tried to like take little pieces of the pills. I thought I was being slick. I thought I've been away from it a long time. I can handle it this time. I can just do a
Mm.
little bit here and there, and I'll be okay.
Right. Mhm.
No, I woke up one morning and I had that withdrawal feeling again, and I just started bawling. Like I was like, no, like what did I do? I was good. Like I had gotten off the Suboxone too. I didn't need anything. I was completely free of it, and I chose to go back. So it's because I had been kicked out of the aftercare program for not going. So they weren't giving. If you don't go to the classes, they're not going to give you your medicine. Basically,
Gotcha.
they hold it hostage. Yeah. Well, Kelly was still getting hers. So when Kelly gets out of jail, she eventually finds out that I'm doing that. I didn't try to hide it very well. I mean, she was doing other things. Well, and I have so much guilt for this, but I ended up, in my ultimate wisdom, because she had ran out of her Suboxone, I ended up introducing her to those we call them blues. I ended up introducing her to blues. And this is about summertime of 2023. Well, Kelly had heart conditions and stuff. She had pulmonary hypertension and congestive heart failure, so she would just pass out and stop breathing. Heart would stop. I
Mm.
mean, I've
Mhm.
seen her on the ground, lips blue, eyes open, no pulse, no heartbeat, no nothing, and it's just me alone in a hotel room giving her CPR, trying to bring her back to life. Like, so in December, like Kelly had stayed, we weren't living together at the time. We kind of did it backwards. We lived together off the bat and then lived separately later on.
Mhm.
And she she stayed with me for a few days, and like her legs had swelled up real big, like big giant, like tree trunks. Her legs were huge. She's tiny, 5 foot tall, 110 pounds, and her legs are like this big around, like at her ankles.
Gosh.
And I didn't know it at the time, but she had quit taking her medication because the stuff that she had to like, she was on the list for a heart transplant.
Mhm.
And it's the medicine made her feel so horrible, just and I heard her say it to me, and she said to other people that she just wanted to die and all kinds of stuff. And I wasn't paying attention. Like, I just wasn't paying attention. I thought everything was going to be okay, even though I knew that her illness was very, very severe. When I dropped her off the last time that I saw her, she needed me to get up and go. I'd donate plasma and all kinds of other crackhead stuff to get money to get these pills, and she couldn't work. She couldn't do anything. She was disabled. So I'm having to support both of our addictions. And it was running me ragged. Like, it was killing me. Like, she was killing me. And so she calls and wakes me up on December 12th. I remember talking to her, and it was weird at the time. Like, it was like she didn't want to get off the phone. And I was so just out of it because I'm full of substances that I didn't realize it till later. But she calls and wakes me up so I can go donate plasma, so I can get money, so I can get drugs, so we don't get sick. And I'm just like, okay, I love you. I'll talk to you later. And I just hang up the phone. And I get to the plasma clinic. I'm texting her, and I don't hear from her. And I end up going the entire day. And I don't hear from her.
It's okay.
Sorry. So I called her roommate, and I'm like, hey, this is like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, I cannot get a hold of her. Can you please check on her?
It's okay, Austin. Just take a deep breath.
So basically, he comes home and he finds her dead on the bathroom floor.
Oh, God. I'm sorry. So sorry. I'm so sorry.
So, I swear I talked about this yesterday and didn't react like this, but
Okay.
so that was like, I remember I had just picked up more blues. I was sitting in a QT parking lot, and I just start like screaming into the phone, like, it's not funny, quit playing, it's not funny. And they're like, why the fuck would I play about that? Like I don't know, wigging out. And so at the time, that was just, I was done. Like, I'd never really like cared enough about myself to like treat myself very well, let alone even talk about myself very well. And so when she was gone, it was like, dude, I don't care anymore. I literally don't care anymore. Somewhere along the way, like when I first started with those pills, we would just take them like a pill, right? Well, by the end of it, I'm smoking them. I'm putting them on foil and I'm smoking them, and smoking them, and that's the fastest way to overdose. You're talking about, as much as you can inhale and it straight into your bloodstream. And Kelly talked me into freaking smoking them. And I have so much guilt from that. 'Cause she had 2 kids, and it also pissed me off. Like, just why could you not, like, why did nothing matter more to you than you? Like, how do you do that to your kids? Like,
there's a lot of children that walk around and ask that question of their parents, whether it's drug addiction or alcoholism. Why did you not love me enough? Was I not enough for you to stop? And being an addict, Austin, I'm sure that that maybe in your, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but in my thought, I'm just thinking because as everyone knows that have joined my podcast, mine and my husband's son, Ben, was a heroin addict. And stole from his granny, stole from his dad, stole from, and I don't think that they are thinking of the consequences or the family or what's
Mhm.
gonna happen to my kids or what's gonna happen to my dad if he finds me, or it's about,
No,
the addiction,
it's extremely
right?
selfish. It's very selfish. And I mean, there are things that just because I can relate. There are things, I used to when stealing from my family, I would cry to and from doing my little mission. I hated myself for what I did. I mean, like, I hated myself, and it's just a vicious circle that it's driving you to do things that make you hate yourself, and the hate for yourself is driving you to use the drugs, and so it just goes and
Yes.
goes and goes and goes and goes until you can't anymore.
Thank you for watching Prospera TV Network. We hope you're enjoying the show. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
It got really bad. Because like I've never, I like today I love myself today. Like, I
Mm,
absolutely love myself today. I still have a lot to work on. I still have a long way to go, but I don't have very many like self-destructive behaviors, and if I do, they're minimal, like smoking cigarettes or something like that. Maybe I drink
mm,
too much soda or something, but
mhm.
I had never been able to do it. And the one thing that gravitated me towards Kelly was her overwhelming positivity. Even though she did the things that she did, she was always so bubbly and glass half full. And she would get on my butt, like, stop being so negative. Stop it. Like, just irate with me because I was so consumed with negativity. In my counseling classes, they would ask, they tell us, like, give you 3 feelings and tell me what you're grateful for. And I would go off on them.
Mm,
I'm not grateful for what? For what? And they'd be like, well, aren't you grateful to be clean? And I'm like, clean? How am I clean? Like, I'm taking Suboxone to not get sick. I'm still going into a pill bottle to
mm,
not get sick. How am I clean? Like, well, no, like, and so that's just how latched on to the negativity that I was, that I just couldn't even put the tiniest positive spin on it. And Kelly used to tell me all the time, like, you just got to change your thinking. You just got to change your thinking. And I'd look at her and I was like, how the hell do I change my thinking? Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like,
mm,
what are you talking about?
mhm.
But she was right. And I didn't figure it out until after she died. And the day that she died, I told myself, I made a promise to her that I would try to start living the way she always told me to. Like, she really
Mm,
did. As much negativity as Kelly brought to my life, there was also a lot of, like, beautiful stuff and positivity that she brought too. It's a very, like, double-edged deal with her.
right.
Um, I hold her in high regard. I really do. But at the same time, she was terrible for me. Like, we were toxic. Very.
Mm,
You cannot have meth in a relationship and it be, like, healthy, and it's gonna
right.
go toxic every time.
And one thing you
So
said about Kelly when you and I were chatting prior to, you said that you never felt your feelings and you never expressed really emotion. You weren't really vulnerable, but with her, you were
she taught me
able
how.
to, yeah, she taught you how to express your feelings. And that's such a beautiful thing. And something else that we said was, or I always say there is beauty in life and death. And I can say that even after losing my parents and our son, that the beauty in his life was just when you see him, when you talk to him, when you smell him, when you hugged him, touched him, saw him, anything he did, whether he was on a motorcycle, he had a little cigarette always hanging out of his mouth. He was just a cool kid. But then, so there was beauty in life, but the beauty in death that he taught me was a lot about addiction. I actually stopped drinking alcohol after he died because I too have an addictive personality, and I didn't want to feel his loss, and
Of
so
course.
drank a lot. And then he came to my husband sort of in a thought, and told my husband to tell me to stop and stop now. And so it was like after that, I was done drinking. But then you have to feel your feelings, right? Then you
Oh
start having
God.
to, which is something that you think, dang, I don't know if I can do this, but you can, and you have to, or you will
Yeah.
turn to something.
And that's what I think gravitated me towards her so hard, was that once you remove the substances, regardless of what substance it is, once it's gone from your system and your brain starts to rewire itself, like, you're gonna feel that stuff. It's gonna come back.
Yes.
And I had, like, talking to her one time when I had repressed memories come back from my childhood. And 10 seconds before they came back, I would have told you that repressed memories are BS and not a thing. Like, I didn't believe
Wow.
it. And and she taught me about my feelings. She taught me how to talk about my feelings. And not only did she teach me to talk about it, like, she actually cared. Like, she cared about me in a really, really weird way. Like, it kind of sounds insane to say she cared about me, but she also introduced me to hardcore drugs and stuff. But I mean, it's I don't even know how to explain that. But she was just like, she's the reason I got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She talked me into going to counseling. Like, a lot of the things that I have today are thanks to Kelly. Like, she gave me those things. So,
And Austin, you and I kind of chatted about that. Not that people die for us, right? But sometimes people's death, it can be a life-changing for us. It can be a wake-up call. It can be life-changing.
At the time, Kelly's death was the worst thing that had ever happened to me. But today, looking back, like, some of the best things that happened to me, some of the best people I have in my life came out of her dying. As awful as that sounds, like, there was a lot of good things that happened to me because she died.
Yes, I understand that.
And our blessings are hard to see when we exist in them. So sometimes you got to get down the road to be able to look back and go, oh, okay, actually that was a good thing. Like, I'm glad that happened. Had that not happened, I wouldn't have XYZ, and I wouldn't be able to even put that together without her. When I said about getting arrested, me and her got arrested. Her son lived with her parents, and at the time they were trying to, like, get her to sign her rights over behind whatever, and she had a problem with drugs before, and like, her parents had conversations with me about, like, keeping her away from it and all this type of stuff. So I'm kind of the overprotective type. Like, I'll if I tell you that I love you, I will do anything for you. I will protect you at all costs. Like, I will help you hide the body, like, any of those types of things. So when I got out of jail and she was still in jail, which I ended up, like, just hustling up the money to get her out, but I told her parents on the phone that she had gotten arrested for my drugs, that she didn't do anything wrong. And so they hated me. They went from, come stay with us during Christmas time with the kids and all this type of stuff, to, like, her mom told me that I killed her, that it's my fault she died. I wasn't allowed at her funeral. They had people there to make sure I didn't show up. It took about 3 months, for the medical examiner's report to come back. the day that it did, because I'm telling everybody she did an overdose, she did an overdose, she did an overdose, she did an overdose. Because she told me she didn't have anything. When they found her body, there was paraphernalia next to her, and she tested positive for fentanyl. So on the medical examiner's website, her official cause of death is fentanyl toxicity. Even though she had congestive heart failure and pulmonary hypertension and her legs were swole up and she had a gallon bag of medication she had to take every day that she wasn't taking. This is like, during COVID, when if you got in a car crash and died but tested positive for COVID, they were marking it as a COVID death type thing. It's the fentanyl crisis,
Yes. Yeah.
And it was easier to just do that than to do an autopsy and see her. She had a heart of an 85-year-old and she was 39. And that medical condition was caused from her doing meth. Meth gave her those heart conditions.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a really just upside down thing. So, but the day that the medical examiner's thing dropped, her mom sent me a message, and I still have that message. And I have never had anything like more hateful, and just it just ripped my soul out, and it just took every last bit of like strength that I had left, and I literally attempted suicide by what her mom said to me that day. Well, that didn't work. I just, that was a whole embarrassing thing. But so the drug use I got to a point where I was going through 100 pills every 2 to 3 days. I was, usually people are smoking a half a pill or a pill at a time. I was smoking 7 to 10 at a time. I was just, I'm too much of a wuss to cause some sort of bodily injury to end my existence on earth. I'm scared of finger pricks at, testing my blood sugar type thing. I just can't do it. So I just wanted to go to sleep and not wake up. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I had lost all, I just didn't care anymore. I just didn't care. Everybody, my family and everything knew what I was doing. I was just sitting in my car in my mom's driveway because I had like screwed everything off I'd ever had. I had nothing but some clothes basically. And I would just sit in my car in the driveway, just doing drugs until I passed out, and I'd wake up and I'd do more drugs, and until they ran out and I had to go get more. I had just completely given up. I just completely. And Kelly's son is 15, and the most messed up thing about it is Kelly's dad was not her stepdad, but her dad. He raised her. He was in hospice with a brain tumor, and so when she died, because I'm the one that called her mom and told her that she died. 45 minutes after they told her dad that she died, he died.
Oh my gosh.
And so her son never had a dad. He was not on the birth certificate. He's never met him. He doesn't claim him, and so Kelly's dad, his grandpa was the only father figure he had ever had, and he lost his mom and his dad in the same day, in the exact same day. So just one day, man, I'm just in my guard doing my thing, and this is a time where I came so close to death. There were 2 days in the same week that I woke up in my car. There was like half of my body's in the car, half of it's hanging out. I'm just in the driveway, like everybody driving by can see. I'm flailed out in the car, completely out of it. And when I wake up, like every single joint in my body is like stiff, like rigor mortis. Like I was barely breathing. I got so close to death 2 times. And for some reason I kept waking up. And this whole, me still waking up is bouncing around in my head, and I'm thinking about it, and just something clicks. And I'm like, man, if that 15-year-old boy hears that I died too, because me and him had a relationship, of course I can't see him anymore. But I was just like, man, if I died too, like, cause he had a nervous breakdown and everything, like that's just, I just felt like he was going to give up. And I'm starting to, like, people are treating me differently. they know I'm on this fentanyl crap, and they're talking down to me like I know what I'm capable of. I know what I'm worth, even though I don't feel like I'm worth much. I know I'm worth more than what I'm getting, and I don't. And it's starting to bug me. It's really starting to bug me. I don't like being seen this way, and I've decided that I don't want to die. You know, I still don't love myself. I'm still don't like who I am. I still, I'm still in hell, but
Mhm.
I'm finally have a little fire lit under my butt. Like I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be like this anymore. Like I can do better than this. So I put myself into treatment again. And I did the little detox thing, and I ended up getting into it with one of the people that work there, and I left early, and I went twice last year. I had to go to twice, so I quit. So I basically relapsed as soon as I got out the first time,
Mhm.
and so I'm kind of teetering on this line of where, I'm not doing it every day because I have Suboxone. They have Suboxone that they gave me, so I might skip a day with that. So because I'm still hanging out, I'm still trying to hang out with my drug friends,
Gotcha.
the
Mhm.
people that use drugs, and so I'm still I'm waffling a little bit, right? And I end up going to treatment again. This time it works a little bit better, but I get involved with another female at this point, and that was the worst thing I could have done. One day I'm not buying these drugs anymore. I'm using socially. So I'm hanging around people that I know have things, and so I can, partake, I guess you could
Mhm.
say. But
Okay.
I have Suboxone as a safety net. So uh I'm not going to get sick because I have the Suboxone, but I have to be careful because if you take one too close to the other, it can throw you into precipitated withdrawals, and there's nothing worse on planet Earth than precipitated withdrawals. It's what happens when sometimes when people are Narcan, when they have to use Narcan on them,
Mm.
it throws them into that. So I'm at a
Okay.
friend's house, and I'm still partaking in smoking fentanyl, and I'm also taking Xanax and all kinds of other. I'm still doing stupid stuff, right? But I'm
Mhm.
kind of I'm my head's like poking out of the water just a little bit. I'm
Gotcha.
on I'm headed the right direction. I just haven't taken any steps forward yet, if that makes sense.
It does,
So
yes.
so my friend, my homegirl that took me over to this dude's house the first time I met this dude, she we're sitting there doing whatever, and I'm zonked on chemicals, you know. And like I said, I'm trying to be clean but hang out with my drug friends, right? Even though I know that you have to change people, places, and things, like,
Right.
period, to get, I know this already. So basically she gets sent a picture, right, of her boyfriend cheating on her, let's just say, right, to keep
Okay.
it
Mhm.
PG.
Sure.
And she had just picked up an entire script of Ambien. And in her Ambien bottle that she has, because she'd sell it to somebody for money or whatever, she had 15 to 20 of these fentanyl pills in this bottle as well. And I watch her do this, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute at the time because I'm under the influence. She swallows this entire bottle of pills
Oh my god.
as I'm sitting right across from her, looking at her, and I'm kind of, I'm like, whatever, like that didn't just happen. Like that's ignorant and stupid and just, girl, get over it. What are you
Right,
doing?
right. Mhm.
So I nod out. Probably 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, and I snap out of it, and I sit up, and she's sitting straight across from me in the room, and she's sitting straight up like this, and she's eyes closed, just drooling coming out of her mouth. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, this is all starting to compute and come to. And I slap my buddy on the knee. I'm like, hey, did she really swallow that whole bottle? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And I'm like, dude. So I grab her, and this girl, see, and this is so insane to say out loud too, like, she's on the run, right? If she gets caught by the police, she's gonna do, like, we call it an elbow in prison. Like, she's gonna be gone for a football number, a very, very, very long time, right? So I can't call an ambulance, because if I call an ambulance, she's gonna go to prison, so I'm trying to be a friend. So I like, it's just so insane. That was my thought process at the time. It sounds so stupid now. Never again, because I should have just drug her outside and called 911. Like, so I grab her, I throw her on the floor. We get a list tube thing. We're sticking the tube down her throat to try to make her throw up all the pills. We get her to throw up all the pills, and she's laying on the floor and she's just unresponsive. She's barely breathing, but she's breathing, but she's unresponsive. And I mean, I'm slapping this girl in the face trying to get her away, but I'm mad too. Like wake up, She's not waking up. And so I always had a thing of Narcan in my pocket. Always, when I was using, I just always had it in my pocket. So I busted out the Narcan and I Narcan this girl, right? So she doesn't wake up, but she goes into precipitated withdrawals and she is unconscious, but rolling around on the floor, grunting in agony. And I'm like, dude, that's what you get, dude. Like, you freaking idiot, you know? And so I proceed to sit on my knees on this wood floor with this chick, you know, patting her on the back, making sure she's laying on her side so she doesn't swallow her tongue. For hours, I keep this girl alive until she finally opens her eyes and locks eyes with me, and she acknowledges me. You know, I get her to shake her head through whatever I said to her, so I know she's whatever. So I get her. I called her Big Bird. She's a big old girl, but I pick her up and I put her on the couch. I put a blanket on her and I pack my stuff and I leave, because this is just traumatic. I mean, 3 or 4 times, you know, I had to give Kelly CPR and literally bring her back to life. And I've just got scars, deep scars. And this is just months after Kelly died, you know, and then this happens. And it was traumatizing. So I just got out of there, and I wasn't going to talk to her anymore. But the next day, literally the next day, like in the morning, she calls me. And when she called, I answer the phone, and I'm expecting her to immediately talk about what just transpired a few hours before. But she's just talking about all this other stuff. And so I say, hey, you know, what about last night?
Yeah.
And I swear, she changed the subject. She didn't say she was sorry. She didn't say thank you. Nothing. She acted like it didn't happen, and I just felt my ears got hot. I got irate, and I was like, man, F this. If you do fentanyl or drugs, you cannot be my friend. Like, you can't be in my vicinity. I'm done. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm so done. And in that moment, I hung up on her. I blocked her phone number. I blocked everybody in my phone that did drugs. I went through my Facebook and blocked everybody that I could. And I was just done. Like, y'all are trash. You're trash. And I'm choosing to believe that it's the drugs that make you this way. But until that's gone, respectfully, I can't deal with you right now. Like, from my personal well-being and my overall health, I can't deal with you anymore. I don't want you around me. And that day I just said, I'm done. And I kicked all those people out. And, you know, I started to really do things to try to help myself, from that point. And, but I still had the issues on the inside. You know, I never held on, like, kept my clean date or anything like that. Like, never paid attention until, you know, like 2 months ago, me and a buddy of mine are having a conversation, and he says something about my year clean date. I'm like, I wonder when that was. And I start going through my phone and looking, and I was like 9 days away from being clean for a year.
Like, congratulations.
So,
wow. It makes my eyes tear up a little bit. I'm not going to lie, Austin. I mean, you've been a little emotional, but to hear your whole story, and thank you for being so transparent and vulnerable. Thank you, Kelly, for teaching this man to feel his feelings and to express them. But it really does make me a little emotional, knowing that, my goodness, you are clean, and you give hope, and you're inspirational. To share all that you shared tonight, and to share your truth in your rawness. And then to find out that you look down and you look for the date and wow, you were 9 days away from being a year clean. My
Um,
thought
and I,
is, what was your thought? What was your thought when you saw that?
I felt really good. You know, I didn't want to focus on a lot of people like they'll hold on to that clean day and count the days. Oh, I'm 30 days. Oh, I'm 90 days. Man, I'm just clean today. I'm just trying to be clean
Mm,
right now. I'm
yeah.
not worried about any length of time and I have ADHD and all these other things. I'm an overthinker and I stress about stuff, and so I'll latch onto weird stuff and overcomplicate my situation. So when I just put it out of my head of like I'm just gonna stay clean right now, just in this moment right now, I'm staying clean and I'm good. Without Kelly, I don't think I would have had that just like screw this, I'm done. Because Kelly used it's so backwards, we would do such self-destructive things, but she would tell me about how much I deserved love and how much I should love myself and how awesome I was. And she was always trying to pick me up. Always.
Mm.
As much at the same time she's dragging me down. But but she's trying to pick me up at the same time. It's such a I don't even know like a word for that. It's just it's a crazy thing. She brought just as much like beauty and positivity into my life as she did negativity. I don't know.
I get
It's
that. I
crazy.
get that. And I get that being someone who is also ADD, I get the overthinking and the
Yeah.
thinking something's going to happen and then I'm stressing myself out. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's exhausting sometimes." But um you're right. I think, that sometimes people may be toxic for one another, but then when they're not
Yeah.
together, there's the beauty that you learn from certain relationships and you keep that and you hang on to it. And it sounds like that's what you did.
I feel way behind a lot. I'm 37 and I don't have anything because I I'm on the way back up right now, and
Yes.
I'm gonna get those things back. But
Yes.
yeah, I shouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now for a variety of reasons. Situations I put myself into, places I was, more so than just drugs, just really poor decisions.
Mm.
I don't even have any cravings or desires for drugs anymore. I don't have any triggers or anything. Like I'm just done. I don't want to be 38 and getting high. Like that's not cute. Like,
It's not
just
cute
ew.
at all.
It's not cute at all. So I'm
I
good.
am so proud of you. Like, I mean, and that was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Is there anything that makes you think, man, I could just use, anything that triggers you, anything that makes you think,
I love myself today. I refuse to do that again. I refuse to poison myself like that
mm,
anymore. I get high on being happy today.
mm,
Uh, like I'm happy. And plus my longtime friend of mine, he's got two kids, and I love those kids like they're my kids. When I walk in the house, because they allow me to come around now, I couldn't see them before. Like,
mm,
'cause who I had no business being around children. I mean, I was on a cocktail of substances and just you know for lack of a better term, a piece of shit. I was a
mm,
piece of shit. And so I walk in the door, and his daughter sees me and she's so happy to see me. She just starts giggling, and his 18-month-old runs up to me with his arms up, wanting to pick up. That's the best feeling in the world. That's the best feeling in the world. And I am not letting that go. I'm not
mm.
losing that ever again. So
Thank
no.
God. Wow. There's a reason. There's a reason, a lot of people say you're lucky to be here, and you yourself, you're like, man, there's a multitude of things and reasons why I shouldn't
But
be
I
here.
I earned this spot here too, though. Like, as much as
Absolutely.
I shouldn't be, I should be,
That's
you
right.
know.
That is exactly right. And I thank God that you are here. There are so many people in here too saying, I'm so proud of you. I know how hard it is. There was actually a couple that is in here. They were on my podcast and they were addicted together. and they've got clean together, and they've been clean. I can't remember how many years. If you guys are still in here, Sammy, David, how many years you guys have been clean? But
that's a beautiful
it's a big
thing.
deal.
That's not easy to do together, and it
Together.
not that. Hey, much
Together.
respect. That's not easy.
That's what they've said. They've shared their story
That's
on here.
a beautiful union there for sure. Like they definitely
Yes.
ended up in the right spot. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I used to like when I would hear people say they love themselves, like I could never like say it. It sounded like I don't know what to like I would be like embarrassed, like I sounded lame or corny to myself by saying it. Like it would just like like you love yourself, like you're weird, you know, like. But no, I understand it now. I understand like what that truly means to love yourself. And it's I don't know, it's a beautiful thing. It just kind of happened. I wasn't really trying for that to happen, but when I just started putting myself around the right people, the right places, and not even just trying to like, you know, focus on not doing drugs and all, just doing something productive, just something productive. It just kind of snowballed. But the one thing that I attribute to it that led to that, and it was something Kelly beat into my head every single day, is the power of positivity. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter how bad things are. I try to inject just something positive. I was with some drug addicts one time and the car caught on fire. It like burned the car down. And we were able to get our stuff out of the car before, you know, we lost that. And as they're standing here, we're stuck in North Richland Hills, you know, and all this other stuff. I was like, well, at least nobody got hurt. And they turned around and looked at me like I was some kind of asshole for saying that. I'm like, what? But
that's the truth.
That just no matter what, just trying to put some positivity in it. And once I started trying to see the positive, then that's all I could see. And the negativity just kind of dwindled and went away.
So one of the questions that I ask all of my guests before we hop on here is, after all that you have been through, everything, all these years, all of this pain, but growing, even though you don't know you're growing, there's still you're in pain, but there's a plan, there's a path ahead, and you saw a little ember burning, you saw some light, and you started making your way to the well-lighted path. And the one question I have for you is, who is Austin today? Who are you today? After everything you've been through, who are you today?
That's a good question. I think I'm who I'm exactly as I'm supposed to be. Like I don't think that I should be somewhere else or whatever. I'm just exactly what I'm supposed to be. I'm right where I need to be right now. And like I feel like I've always been a good person, and you know, things I knew it, but I didn't believe it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
But today I believe it. You know, I'm a source of happiness and positivity today. That's who I am. I'm happy and positive today.
Oh my gosh.
And I never thought it was possible. I really didn't. My entire life, I've never loved myself until today. I love myself. I think I'm pretty awesome today. So
I think you're right. I think you're right.
So I'm not ashamed of any of this. I'll tell anybody. I tell strangers I'm a drug addict. I'm not ashamed of it. It made me who I am right now. And you know, people speak about me in high regard today, and it feels great. But it's you know, it's just I don't know. I'm happy and positive today. That's what I
love
am.
it. I love that. I love that.
There's no judgment, only grace. Every scar has a sacred place. In the truth, we're not alone. Every story finds a home. Come as you are, don't be afraid. You belong here anyway. We rise in love, we heal in trust. This is where real begins. No judgment. This is your Prospera era, where dreams align with grace, abundance flows like rivers. You've stepped into your place. Rise, reign, and remember, you were born to shine. Welcome to your moment, Prospera, it's time.
We hope you enjoyed today's show on Prospera TV Network. Make it a point to visit us on YouTube and catch all your favorite shows anytime you want. Interested in hosting a show of your own? Or advertising your business on our network? Contact Elena Rodriguez.